All right, guys. So welcome to the live crypto analysis. So let me go through what we have going through for the chart. So I'm going to pull up. Let's start off here with Bitcoin and then XRP. So I'm pulling up XRP here. Okay. And let's have a look at what's going on with XRP. So we've had a drop of roughly around about 20% at most with XRP. And I will pull up Bitcoin as well. And I know many of you are wondering what is actually going on. Now, again, guys, the stage of crypto that we are at the moment, because of the level of money within this market, although we're still around about 2 trillion at the moment, and we're going to have a look at coin market cap in a moment. Although we're at that amount, it doesn't necessarily equate to us having a very stable market just yet. We're going to need a lot more money in the market. Now, I'm going to put these calculations here so that you can be at peace of mind to understand where we are. Okay. And we will go through it. But I'm going to pull up Bitcoin. And then after we can run, some calculations here to let you know what exactly is going on. So, all right, let's have a look at this. Get yourself locked in. If you have any questions, please definitely shout me out. But if you have any questions, and then we can go from here. Okay. All right. So let's go for what we have here, and then after we can have a look. So I'm going to pull up Bitcoin first. We'll come back to Ripple, and let's just have a look at what the price action has done here. So my Bitcoin is always here. Now, by the way, I'm using Hugo's Way. Now, Hugo's Way's price feed comes from Bittrex. So if you're wondering what specifically, now, if you're a crypto trader, one of the foundational things you need to work out, whether you're trading through a MetaTrader 4 enabled broker, or if you're trading through a solely crypto exchange, so something like Bittrex or Binance or Coinbase or any of the Coinbase Pro or any of those things. Just as a prerequisite, guys, whenever you're looking at these live sessions, okay, I'm personally using Bittrex again, but whenever you're starting to get yourself involved in trading, whichever broker you're trading through, it'll be a very good idea for you to make sure you find out where does the price feed for the crypto trading that you see come from. Okay. Now, some brokers are not so open about where they get their price feed from. Some others are. The easiest way to go about it, if it's not very clear on the website, is just go to the live chat. Now, for most traders or for most of you who have been trading Forex or something else, or you're with a broker who trades primarily something else and they've introduced crypto recently, I don't think that they'll be reluctant to want to tell you where the price feed comes from. Okay. But it'll be good for you to know where the price feed comes from, because sometimes you may want to go back a bit further with history, but you may not be able to go that far specifically. So TradingView, for those of you who use TradingView, which I believe is most of us, if you're involved in trading, you must have used TradingView before. But TradingView will allow you to view Bitcoin versus the US dollar, okay, but for different exchanges. Now, different exchanges have slightly different price fees due to several reasons, but the major reason is because of how the market order book is laid out. Okay, so for example, certain all-time highs, the all-time high for XRP is very different depending on what broker you're looking at. They're not too far apart, but there are differences between different brokers. Okay, so this is just a side note so that you know what's going on. Now, for Hugo's Way, which is what I trade with for crypto primarily, Hugo's Way has a broker who uses Bittrex again as the price feed. So if I refer to something as a third time, just to remind you guys, I'm basically referring to the price feed that comes from Bittrex. Okay. Now, how you classify which one is good quality or not, that's another question for another day. But for now, Bittrex is trusted, one of the largest, and we're good to go. So let's have a look at the schematic of Bitcoin. I'm going to start on the time frame again, and let's have a look at what's going on. So again, I'm going to mark out the most critical areas of price action that we're looking at. So so those of you who've never listened to me live before, we've broken past this area. We had a break beneath and a return, and as I always say, the week where we were supposed to actually see the continuation short, we had timely news kept coming out about Amazon wanted to accept cryptocurrency as a form of payment, I think later on this year or next year. So instead of having a very strong short, which is what the expectation is since we've broken beneath the demand area and price for the first time, since basically the end of 2020, the price pushed itself back up here to continue long. All right. And we had the major break on price right around here. Now, the second area that we were looking at is this region right here. I'm going to put this up. This region right here on the price, we've had a body close above the region. So we had the 47 close I was talking about. So we've had two confirmations of bullish activity on the price. Now, I just wanted you guys to see that this pullback that everybody or some of you may be afraid of is a very tiny pullback. Okay, in the grand spectrum of this movement here, from the 20th of July all the way to where we are now, from the 20th of July to we're at the 18th. So it's been 28 days so far from this reversal point. All right, and we've had an increase from 49 to the highest point, which is about 40, sorry, from 29 to about 48. So which is a very large increase. Now we're not back at the all-time high just yet, but we have had a large percentage increase. We've gone from about being 50% or less of the price of Bitcoin's all-time high to roughly around about 30% away now. So that is a big jump. Now, again, because the price moved down so drastically, we had quite a few, and I want to put this here too. There's been quite a few, order blocks that were used for demand that the price reoptimized for supply. And one of the next major ones, so we've had 1, 2, number 3 is this region right here. Now it's a combination of two zones. You could use this area as the more pinpoint area. And you could also, if you want to, use this area here for the larger one. So this larger one here, if I mark this out for you right here, this is the combination of the two that we're seeing the price move into. So the body of the candle has edged into this area and the wick of the candle has just spiked slightly higher into this area. Now the expectation is if the bull run continues as it should, then the price should be breaking forward to go further along. Now, I'm going to zoom in slightly so that we can see things from a clearer perspective. So again, here's now this candlestick again is very small. The body of the candle is quite small, but it is a very specific price statement of price. From where we were, so from May 16th, when the price was selling off very strongly until we got down to July 20th here, the price was giving us a very strong sell-off. When the price finally got back to areas of that level of supply, which we hadn't been seen through since May, we had a strong break here. We had a very strong reversal signature, a very strong break above, and then a return. At the return here, I remember on the live saying that if the price does give us a return here in continuation, we should be looking long. Now, the other side to the story is that whenever price does a reoptimization of supply for demand, in this case, what we should be looking for is how the price reacts in this demand zone. Now, this area of demand here is a very large area. And once I go down to the lower timeframes, you realize how large it is. Now, I think in essence, whilst everybody probably thinks the market is going short, we've just had a signature for the price to actually push long. And if I was to draw some markings here for Bitcoin right now, we have an A to B structure forming here. Now, the price can still drop beneath. And again, if the price, at any point, if the body of the candle was to close beneath this area of demand, then it would mean that we are back into areas of supply. We may see the price drop quite a bit. Okay, from here back into the 30s. All right, but for now, we're safe. I'm going to drag this along here. Just make sure we've got that marked out. So right here, here's an area of demand. The price used this area of demand to go along. So that's our A formation here. Now, we could even use here as an A swing, but we've had a complete cycle. So I'll do the trend accounting for you guys so that you can see the picture of where we are. So here's A, here's the B, here's C. And then after we've had over here, the D swing right here. All right. So this area from A, B, C, and D, now I'm looking at the price action here. We have an A swing over here. Right here, we have B right here. And now the price is returning to demand and we just had the formation of another swing low. So this formation of a swing low could potentially be our entry to actually continue this long. And I'll actually be looking to take this trade today. Okay, now the trade to me, I'm going to use another Bitcoin here, and then we're going to start from where I've ended here because it will be hard to see. So if I go down to the H1 and we look at this from an intraday perspective, now you can see that the overall trend is still definitely bullish for a while. But let's just observe what the price has done. So our major area of demand where we saw a very strong bullish run up was around about 44. And that demand zone is here. Now, clearly, we've had a very good trade because this is the low of the previous day. We've had an induction for price action to go long from here. Let's make sure we get the body of this candle right. So we've seen right now, anyway, that the price has spiked down here. Now it's kissed the zone. Now, if you zoom in a bit more, the price actually hasn't entered into the zone. So there is a danger that the price is actually going to get down to this low one more time, because we need the price to get into significant demand to do such a movement. Now, from this perspective here, this is the last swing of the day, and we do have market structure break, which is a nice sign of change of direction. However, I would say because the price hasn't got into the full demand area as it should, there is the danger of the price to come back and do another movement in that manner. Okay. If I use the body of the candle, which is where the liquidity is from this area here, we've touched the area or come very close to it, but we actually haven't gone in here. So again, we actually gives us more time. So for those of you who want to trade Bitcoin long, this is a potential good trade that we can have. The risk to reward would be quite great, because if this is the continuation C swing, then I expect the price to be going towards the 50 mark. So I'm expecting the price to give us something along the lines of this, and then after for us to continue for a continuation long. Now, it was a good short, and I knew that the short would happen. Again, from the 1 hour time frame, this price action here doesn't make much sense apart from here. This was the reversal signature that the price decided to perform, or the style it tried to perform for us, and it did succeed at last. So now that we've got the price doing what it's doing here, I'm watching carefully to see how the price is going to behave. Now that I've seen what's happened here with the price action, we have inefficiency at this order block, and it's not too far away. The price literally is about $20 or $30 away from returning here. Now, for some, this may not be that much of a big deal. Why not just take the trade now? But the price action that controls the market is controlled by algorithms. And so they're very, as specific as maths can be, they're very specific of the same nature, because they use financial models and algorithms to be able to maneuver. All right. Now, the price returning here, it will be a good testing ground to see whether Bitcoin is going to give us more of a short, or if it is actually going to give us a long. What do I mean by that? Well, so far, the price has done this reversal signature. We've had quite a bit of spiking. The price has kind of stayed inside of the range, but we haven't had much more than that. So what I'm looking for now would be to see a break beneath, possibly even further, if the price breaks beneath this demand zone, and then for us to see lower down shorts and lower lows taken down. So the next, not lower lows as in lower lows on a bearish market, I mean as in lower down swing lows. So these lows right here, if the market was going to go for a short, then I expect the price to attack those and be making its way back down to this region right here at 38. Okay, and then back to down where this reversal signature kicked off from right here. So these are the lows that are in play. Now, when I'm looking at the trend from the H1 perspective, the price started off very bullish, but I can see that the angle of the trend is tending towards becoming a range. Now, it's not a range yet. Don't get me wrong. Please don't mishear me. This isn't a range at the moment, but the price is starting to shift from being directional to, a net direction of 0. But because we don't have enough active price feed to be able to make that assumption, we couldn't say so. But if the price came back up here and then dropped back down to the same point, I would consider it to be a range. And if there is an accumulation range, there could be a few reasons for that could push the price either continuation long or might produce a reversal too. So I'm keeping my eyes peeled for both. But these are the two very simple scenarios. So I would say for you guys who are traders who want to trade Bitcoin, definitely keep your eye on this order block. Again, if you're an investor and you want to get into Bitcoin, all right, this is not financial advice. It's just my own personal suggestion. Given the economic weight of what Bitcoin means, to be in reality, any time is good to buy Bitcoin. So definitely you want to keep your eyes peeled on that. All right. But we're definitely still bullish for now. I do think though, again, as I said, this very simple um, logic over here is that I'm going to put these two pink lines to represent supply for a moment. And I'm going to go back to the hourly. So at the moment on the hourly time frame, this D1 area, okay, of supply is basically between this range of pink lines. So providing the price comes back down here and takes this low and even continues long, then we're still inside of that supply area, that supply liquidity that's being flipped for demand. But at any time, if there is a body close beneath this area, this is why both of these trades can potentially be important. Then I expect both either reaction to give us quite a good piece of price action. Okay, so for me, I'm seeing one more short on Bitcoin. If the price does take off without filling this order block, then I think the price will not get so far. I think personally, now the reason why the price wouldn't get so far because there wouldn't be the demand available to take it to a new high. Okay, rather what the price will probably do is come back to this region here. So on the H1, we have a demand zone, which the price flipped for supply and went short. And then after, when we get to the other side here, the price will produce the supply zone or return back to the supply zone created underneath, which is right here. And then possibly the price may be just forming, if you can see it from here, an A to B swing. Here's the C, and then the price may push down for the second. So second leg of thrust. So I would say the best idea that we can go through here is to keep our eyes focused and primarily on what's going on here. So I would say to you, keep your eyes peeled, watch out for this price action here, and then you can make the decision as to what you believe the price is going to do and with your own analysis, okay? All right, so this is what I expect from the price action here when it comes to Bitcoin. All right, so just recapping one more time, if you're not too sure, I'm going to do this one more time so that you understand me just clearly. So again, removing all of this mess out of the way for now, I'll pull up one more chart because I realized that with Bitcoin, sometimes it can be very daunting when you buy, or with any crypto actually, you can buy in at a high point and the day you buy, the price reverses. So it's good to give comfort and give clear understanding of what's going on with the price action. But again, just to recap as to where we are. So from the daily time frame here, again, we had the first order block. All right. So if you're keeping notes, we had the first order block here and we had the initial body close. I'll use this to mark this out. Let's put this here. So here, the initial body close that we're looking for, we had a body close beneath this demand zone, which is the first time since December. So this was a very strong sign of bearish, or the price breaking past this bullish area into a bearish phase in the market because the demand zone has been broken beneath it. So we expect the price to reoptimize for supply. So when the price got to this region right here, which would have been the optimal area for selling, we had at the same time we had the Amazon announcement, which pushed the price up very strongly. Okay, so this was a very timely piece of news that pushed the price up further. And we had the daily body close above this area. So therefore, we couldn't use this order block anymore to suggest any trades from there or any price action direction. Now, our second area here, okay, this second area that we had with the price action, the price used this, we had a break beneath and then we had a return. But then we had the 47,000 close that I was discussing. And this $47,000 close that we have here, we've now broken past this demand zone also. Now, this demand zone is important because it's one of the most important zones that we have to the left of us, which was instrumental in pushing the price to get to this 64K mark. Now, when we had the break below and the return here, one of the things that is important to note is the price has broken back above now. So where are we now? Now, again, if you weren't too sure about how the price action is working and why we're using demand instead of supply, because we had such a strong drop here in the price action and because we saw movement on the price very strongly bullish, there was a lot of demand created. So there's many demand order blocks to the left, which the price used to be able to make the directional bias that we're seeing here of a bullish trend. So now at the moment here, here's our demand zone. Here's the next crucial area, which was formed at the beginning of March. And it was instrumental for taking the price to the 47, 48K region all the way to 64. And primarily was the first area. And this is key. This is the after we had the break of market structure. Now, the most recent swing, before the 64 mark here from the daily time frame anywhere is here, right here. Now, when the price broke this market structure here of the ABCD swing on the bullish side, the first place that the price went to be able to, if you would want to call it a test, which is not the best terminology, but is the most common terminology, but the price returning back into this order block here. When the price returned back into from this short, the first order block it reached to was this demand zone here. And we saw eventually after that, we had a movement from this 48 region back up to 59, just beneath 60. Okay, but because the bullish trend did not continue, we saw after this, the price broke belief quite strongly. And this is exactly where we are right now. So again, this area is very crucial. And as part of our testing and tracking of the bullish run that we're seeing on the price right now, the tracking and testing of the bullish run will be more for the demand and the supply zones. Okay. Now there is one supply zone which is important, which we're going to come to. But again, I just want you guys to keep in mind that right now the price is here. So in realistic terms, where the price is right now, since we've had a reoptimization, of demand for supply, where the price has just returned to now is acting as a supply zone, so an area for shorting. If the body of the candle does break beneath, so if we have a break above this demand zone here, and then the price continuing on, there is definitely a sign that we've definitely entered into areas of bullish liquidity that we haven't seen for a while and bullish pressure. But if not, then we will be seeing the price taking a bit of a short journey. Now, what's holding the price from moving anywhere beneath this 45 to 44 range is this supply zone. Now, as small as it is, okay, and this is a key here, and I'm going to post this out for you. So if you look at this area of supply right here, this area of supply that we had from the 18th of May all the way down to where we were to the 20th of July until we had this reversal on the long side, this price was a very strong supply zone. The price used this area just once, and we had a very strong sell from here. Now, when the price came back to this level of supply, we had a very strong break here, and then a return back to the other side, and the formation of a daily demand zone or a D1 demand zone. Now, immediately after, we had a very strong bullish run up, which this candle closed above any of the previous daily highs or the closes or opens of these candles here. So in one candle, we had a close above 4. So a very strong sign of bullish pressure and bullish liquidity. Now, zooming in a bit more, the two factors that are in play here are contributing to the ideas of the price moving both sides. Now, for one direction, which is to continue this bullish run, again, as I've zoomed in here, we need a body close above this area at least, and then a return. Now, there are still more demand areas that the price needs to be to the left of where I'm looking at right now in order for us to really see, new all-time highs soon. For example, here, the next one would be this area here, and that will be the next target around about 54. Now, on the other side, this supply area holding the price has also formed bullish market structure here that we need to pay attention to, excuse me. So if I was to start from here, so ignoring this swing that was formed because we already have a complete cycle of price at the moment, the most current swing structure is an A from here. We have a B swing structure at this point right here, which is the highest point before the price reversed. So from Friday or around about Friday, now that we've seen the shorting happen, we've just had the formation of a C swing right here. So this C swing right here, let's put this here. This C swing that is formed right here has formed an ABCD swing, which is an ABCD swing bullish. Therefore, because we have the bullish swing here, we should be led to believe that the price action should continue in a bullish fashion. Now, because we've come to this very significant point in price, this is the main reason as well that we're seeing a short, okay? Because here there would be very strong bearish pressure from the market order book side. Since we had such a strong break beneath, there should be some selling going on. Now, this selling from B to C, or this retracement, is either a retracement for a continuation into where we're looking for this bullish market, or the other side of the story, which is possibly likely too, is if at any time the body of the candle, of any daily candle, was to close beneath this area at any time and then return to the other side, we will have a re-optimization for supply, which means that the price should be making its way back down onto the short side. Now, without being so specific, there are many areas that the price could get to, but definitely the next short, unless it's going to be a very strong short, would be an opportunity for the market to fill out any imbalances, because there are quite a few. And again, the volatility on Bitcoin, which we'll come to in a moment, okay, is still quite high. Okay, the amount of money that is in the world compared to how many people are involved with crypto, okay, and involved in Bitcoin specifically, the ratio is about 1% of the world at the moment, if you did the calculation for it. Okay, so in terms of the volume, the liquidity in the market at the moment, we can still see 10 to 20%, even 30% swings on the price for now. As more money comes into the market, especially from the institutional levels, we will definitely see more stability, a lot more stability in price. Just like the stock market, when a new stock comes out, to bring it a bit more closer to history and of the history of our time, when a new stock comes out, maybe a penny stock, the price can swing up 1,000% up and 1,000% down in a day, possibly. A new stock that's just been listed can increase by 300-400%, because the volatility will be high. Okay, the liquidity is not always that high to support the price for stability. Okay, and also fundamentals will have a huge say in what the price does for a while. But as more money comes in and more stability comes in, things like, for example, Apple stock, which was swinging crazy prices when the, Bitcoin, I even called it Bitcoin, but the dot-com bubble crashed. Okay, the price of some of the internet giants that we know today dropped about 95% of their value. Okay, but they still recovered over time. The drop was very large and quick, but the recovery is more slow and steady. Okay, as more money piled on and the vision of what the technology is bringing to the world started to stabilize and materialize and etc. So I do think the same thing will happen with cryptocurrency as well. That may take some time, but however long it takes, I don't know. But for now, crypto trading, the opportunity to be able to make massive gains, okay, for a small amount of money are still here because the volatility is so high. Okay, and you can make, 1,000% of your account with the right leverage, from a 10-20% move up or down on a crypto, so the volatility is still high. But either way, there is still clarification about all the blocks that we need to look at, which we can use by observing the relationship between the body and the wicks of the candle. So on the other end here, if the price does the other side and the price goes bearish, we'll need to see a body close beneath this area. At the moment, the price is looking quite cleanly bullish. We have a demand order block here where the price is settling in, but if that continues, then we should be looking for a long that we can swing up to 54 and even more. Okay, so let's quickly look at the lower time frame again. I know this one will matter to us, for those of you who are traders. If you're an investor, then you're looking more for the dollar cost average in higher time frame stuff, I understand. But I would like to do this just to make sure that it's clear with everybody before I move on to the rest of what we have to talk about. So with Bitcoin versus the US dollar here, I'm going to pull this up here. And again, I'm using Bittrex, guys, as my broker, Hugo's Way, uses Bittrex for the price feed. So if your Bitcoin chart looks slightly different, please drop me a message and let me know. Okay, if you're trading through a MetaTrader 4 enabled or MetaTrader 5 enabled broker, they're most likely a Forex or some sort of broker like that. It would be good for you to find out again what price feed is provided for you to see the charts. Okay, now I'm grateful to know mine, which is Bittrex. Sometimes I don't think it's on the website. You're gonna probably have to ask that question, because I guess most people don't ask. But if you want to be a more savvy trader and maybe you want to use TradingView and you want to have the right chart for where you're analyzing, then you would definitely want to ask your customer service for your broker what price feed, or where do they get their price feed from to be able to give us crypto, okay, or to give you crypto for you to see. Now, again, we had reversal signatures on the upside and the downside. And when I look at this trend, guys, I don't use trend lines, but the directionality of the trend, it started off very strongly bullish. It is still bullish, but I can see that the angle is shifting from a more bullish trend to a more ranging trend, but we don't have a range just yet. All right, we had a reversal signature in the Asian session here, which the price has not entered into the demand zone, but has kissed it, the edge of it. Okay. And so for me, again, I do think the price needs to push back a bit lower. What I will do is I'm going to drop this line a bit lower here, and I'm going to draw out the low of today. I do think that the low of today will be run, and I'm expecting the price to spike into this area again and push for a long. Now, if the price does a long beforehand, okay, recapping on what we discussed earlier on, this area right here, I'm going to put this here. This area right here is a demand flip zone. The price has returned to the other side here and given us a short. Okay. If the price was to take off long prematurely without fully taking advantage of the demand here, which is quite strong because as you can see, once demand was formed here in the new day, we had an increase in price from 43K to 47, which is quite a massive jump in price. So in order for the price to be able to really have, rocket fuel to be able to go to the moon, and moon, as we would say, then it would need to make sure that it's re-entering into these areas of liquidity where there's enough levels of orders to be fulfilled that can push the price in that direction. If not, then what we might actually see would be the market structure here, continuance of a lower time frame ABCD pattern. And if that happens, the price does run the risk of breaking lower and even get into lower lows before, or forming lower lows from this market structure here, which I'm showing you, before the price takes off. So if I was to do this in A, B, C swing right here, A, B, and A to B movement, what the price could very well easily do is, since the price returned in this area, we have a supply zone created from that movement back on the other side. We flip the demand zone, so the order block will be pushing for short orders instead of long, even though it is a demand zone. So this supply zone right here, if the price does a premature long, which is possible too, then we may see the price actually give us a C swing right here and return to supply. Okay, the price will find a good area of supply liquidity and then start to push down. Now, the price does run the risk at this point of the price breaking down and continuing to do a D swing beneath this area, or the price may actually take this low, return into this area, consolidate as it should, and then after, the rest is history. All right, so I would like to say to you, please keep your eyes peeled and try to be more nimble with when you're looking at the price. Don't just jump into a position because you see it. Look at the market structure carefully and you'll be able to make a good decision as to what's going on with the price action. All right. So now let's have a look at XRP. That's really my focus for today. And then after, we're going to switch over and look at the charts here and look at what we have in terms of money in the market. So let me pull up this area here. So where is XRP? I think XRP will be in my group at the top here. If not, then it's probably down back here. XRP USD. So XRP at the moment, all right, has been pushing quite strongly short. The price has returned to an algorithmic area here, which is why we're seeing a reversal here. Now, again, I still haven't changed my mind on my claim, no matter how bullish the price is. I do believe in XRP. I do think that the price has the potential to go long. And I think it's one of the enigmas of the markets because it's one of the only top 10 cryptocurrency pairs that haven't at least reached this all-time high. It's really been depressed from actually achieving that goal, okay, from the news that's happened, the SEC filings and etc. So because of the anticipation of XRP to at least take its all-time high, there is a lot of conspiracy around why XRP has been held back the way it has. If this price was to go long, then we might see some crazy numbers like $11 to even $100 just from the sheer velocity and price that would happen from all of the things that people have been held back who have been patiently holding XRP since 2013, 14. Okay. Now where we are anyway, there is a liquidity gap that I always talk about, which is at 33 cents, which can be filled. I don't think there's any problem with the price filling it, but from what I'm seeing right now, not every gap gets filled and that gap may not get filled, but that's the last one on XRP to be filled. And then there isn't really any liquidity gaps on this chart anyway. But where are we anyway? So going back to where we were, I'm going to zoom in one time on the daily time frame right here, okay, on the daily time frame right here, if I draw this high, we had an inefficiency in the price, which was when the price went short, starting out from June, we didn't get the return back into this area before the price started to sell off. So we already started off this short quite inefficiently because we didn't have ample supply to hold the price. And this is why after a while, you can see that the last couple of days here, the price was almost flatlined and the candles became very small because the liquidity for the short ran out because we didn't have as much liquidity as we could. Now, when the price came back on the long side, first spike came very close to the high, then we had a very strong break, and now we've had a return. Okay, now this return that we've had on the price here, there's two options. This supply zone now can become an area of demand to give us a continuation long. Okay, but again, I'm keeping my eyes on Bitcoin because if Bitcoin is breaking lower, then XRP would most likely break lower than this zone, and then this zone will become invalid. All right, now over here, I'm going to draw the demand zone. Now there's a major demand zone that the price used to swing up from this area beneath $1, roughly at the lowest point around about 92 cents, all the way up to this $1.34 mark. Now, if we map out the price action properly to see where we are, there are many areas that Ripple can retrace to for it to continue for a long. One major area that I'm watching out for is this supply zone right here. This supply zone on the daily was formed in June. Price went quite strongly short from here. It actually produced the strongest short price action or the strongest movement down and put Ripple at the lowest point it was, which was at 50 cents. Okay. Then we had this strong break past here. When the price got into this area, we went from 83. And I gave the trade signal for this. I gave you guys the entry. So if you grab this trade, well done. It was a really good risk to reward trade. I missed it because I wasn't even paying attention because I went away from the charts for a moment. And bad idea. But I did give it before I left. I didn't set a pending, sadly. I wish I did. Now, when the price went long here, we haven't had a return to the other side. So potentially we could have the price returning back to 85 again. That's one aspect. The price doesn't have to, but we could see a return on the price here. The second option is that the price could dip into this area of demand and begin to go long from here also. Okay, this is one option. Okay, and of course, the reverse option would be if the price came down here, but then we had a body close, then Ripple is in danger of going back down for some strong shorting. So I'm keeping my eyes peeled again. I'm keeping my eyes very carefully fixed on what I'm seeing with the price action, and I'm keeping both minds, both the bullish and the bearish mindset in play as well. And I'm taking every day as it comes. All right. So these are the two bullish options we have. And then the only bearish option I have, okay, would be for a break beneath this area because this is an area of significance. So again, similar to Bitcoin, if there's a reoptimization of supply for demand and then back to supply again to its original use, then that will give us a lot to think about in terms of where Ripple will go next. If that did happen, I'll be honest with you, then I'll be expecting that 33-cent mark. I'm not thinking of a zero mark, but just that final blow to every crypto trader that probably will get everybody to run away. And then, you know, the price to be cheaper. Who knows? All right. This year and 2020 has been very strange years and many things can happen and anything can happen. So I'm always keeping an open mind for when opportunities like that may come across, you know, come up for us to pick up. So let's look at XRP on a lower time frame here. I'm going to stick to the hourly because the hourly has been supplying quite a good range of information that we can use to make our assumptions on the price action. So what I'll do, if I start from here at XRP from the hourly, okay, and I will do some H4 as well because there is some important factors here. But from the H1 anyway, the price is still clearly moving short. But the price, if I was to draw a trend line here, the trend is overwhelmingly bullish. Now, why am I drawing a trend line like this? Now, most retail traders trade in this fashion of using trend lines. And the price has just touched to this trend line quite nicely twice. All right. Now, the trend line itself doesn't have any financial properties to it. It's just a graphical measure of supply and demand, but from a diagonal angle. Now, since the price has come here, I'm sure that this has probably triggered many people to want to buy. Now, if market manipulation is going on, which can be, or sellers are trying to, you know, cheapen the price and manipulate buyers, then there will be inductions on the order book to make the price look like it's going to go long. Okay, but the real final testing of that would have to be with what Bitcoin does. Now, we've already broken past a major area of demand. We've had a return here, and the price is kind of hanging in the supply zone formed underneath. For me, I would like to see what the price does here. And it looks as though we might actually get this break here. And if we do get this break here, then I'm expecting the price to get back to beneath $1 for a little while. Okay. The most recent inductions of the price pushing long in this trend would be here. Here was a good one here. If I was to draw this H1 demand zone across here, the H1 demand zone leads us all the way back to about 94, which would be quite an interesting trade if the price does that. We could have a great sell that we could take advantage of before another buy. Or if not, then the price will be looking to push its way even further lower. Now, the entry that I gave, by the way, for the long was this one right here. The H1, there was a nice supply zone right over here. Let me put this for you. Here's the supply zone here. So the price gave us this very nice supply zone. We had accumulation above it, a breakout, and then a return, and then the rest is history. Okay, so I'm watching this. People that have moving averages and things of that nature would be looking at this and looking for the buy signature. And if there's some manipulation to get some more panic and get the price cheaper, then I'd expect the market to overrun what the moving averages are doing and possibly break down even lower. So I'm watching to see what the sell does. And if I take it very specifically down to the 15-minute, on the 15-minute here, the supply zone that was created at the new day is where the price is really operating at. And the key here is that I see a bull trap. We have a bull trap style candlestick, which is suggesting to me that the market is trying to trap bullish liquidity. Not that there isn't potential for the price to still break past here, but what I would say very simply is this: if the price breaks back above this area again, then we're going to go long without any reservations. But since I see the bull trap there, if the price continues to, at the moment, the structure is looking bearish. We have an A to B swing. We just haven't had the D formation yet. But if we do get that, then I would expect Ripple to be going down to that 92. If not, and we see a break back above the manipulation bar, be ready to buy and see the price do some new movements back to $1.50 even. Okay, so I would say keep your eyes on that with Ripple, guys. And then from there, we can make our movements. All right. Now, I wanted to look at Ethereum also. Okay, just very quickly, just to see where it is. Now, because we're in very similar conditions, I would like to just keep to looking at these three pairs for now. And then after we can go from there. So Ethereum USD, here we go. Let's see if there's any difference. Now, Ethereum fundamentally, because of the upgrade seen recently, okay, a lot of ETH is being burnt right now. About 0.7 ETH, I believe, per block, which is very bullish for Ethereum over time, because as a store of value, it's going to become more and more difficult to, own Ethereum because the scarcity is going to increase massively. Okay, so I think the calculation is about 33% of the supply of Ethereum is going to disappear, which is a good thing because that scarcity aspect will allow it to be a store of value to a degree. Okay. Now, where we are with Ethereum, the price has again done the similar thing to what Bitcoin has done. We've had this kind of A to B swing. Now, over here, we haven't had the kind of return here on the D1. If I was to draw the supply zone to go across, it doesn't really match up with what the price is doing here. On the H4, however, we do see that the price has made an A to B swing. And on the D1, you can see that we have an A, here's the B, here's the C. Now, where Ethereum is not in the middle of nowhere, but just on the higher time frames, the price is not really in anywhere significant to the left yet. Okay, if I draw this out here, you can see that really once we broke past this supply zone, we really haven't had any sort of return back. The price has just formed a demand zone kind of midway, and the price is using that to balance out to continue long. As I said, I would like to see activity at 3,500, and then after I can start to make decisions as to what's going on. But for now, looking at the structure of the price, it's still quite bullish to me. I guess on the H4, if I was to just draw the structure of price here. So here are the higher highs that we've had so far. All right, now the price is closed beneath the first higher high. And so the market structure looks like it's become bearish. So from here, we've had an A to B movement and we've had a C. Now this A to B to D movement that we've had here can easily be just a mini move in the bigger bearish structure. Okay. Now, if we start to see more closes, so if the body of the candle closes beneath this low and possibly this low, then the market structure will start to look a bit bearish. Now, if you draw a trend line, and this is why I don't use trend lines, I hardly use them, is because with this trend line right here, if you follow the trend line, then you're going to say that, oh, the market is bearish right now, which it may not entirely be. It's just that we might have had a smaller inside bearish move inside of a fuller or a larger bullish movement. So I rather like to focus on swings and look at the market structure with them instead of trend lines. Because trend lines, again, they're graphical tools and nothing more than that. Can't really use them to quantify much. You know, and if you are using them for a bit too much, then you get yourself trapped into trades that are going to get you in trouble. All right. So at the moment, what's Ethereum doing? Well, Ethereum is making its way back long here. And we had a very interesting break over here in the price. We have a demand zone that the price has formed right over here. And the price is seeming to return to the other side. Now, if it returns to the other side successfully and breaks past, then I definitely think the price should be making its way to the 3,500, 3,356 all the way to 3,500, that range of supply there. If it gets into this area here and starts to sell off, where could this go? Now, there are many lows that the price could go for, but I would expect the price to start coming for these lows and come back down to areas where, you know, the last major turns in price were. One of them is this area of demand here, which is at 2730 or just above. So 2740 around this region here. 2745 is what I'm reading on the chart. And we may see that. Because at that point, then the market structure will be showing us, you know, at least a short-term bearish movement here. If there's more, then there'll be more, but at least we've got this going here. So I would say keep your eyes peeled. The structure of all of these price actions are very nicely technical. So there's a lot that we can derive from there. And we just have to be wary and see what the price does, okay? You see it right now as I've been speaking, Ripple's already taken an attempt back at this bull trap right here. So once it breaks past not just the bull trap, because that's the lower time frame, but the more higher time frame H1, $1.15, then we could be looking for some very good price action on the bearish side. If not, then what Ripple has just done right now is just provided a re-entry and it's about to go short. So I would say keep your eyes peeled on that. But just to give you some encouragement, guys, all right? I want you guys to have a look and see what's going on here. So first of all, let's start off with where we are. All right. So just a quick normal search. I'm not really doing anything special. We're just looking at what overall the price is doing. So if I go right here to the market cap. So at the moment, the market cap is just shy of $2 billion. Okay. Excuse me, $2 trillion. Okay. The market cap is 1.9 trillion. Okay. Now, how much money there is in the world? Okay. Let's just get rid of this for a moment. So the calculations is that there's at least $5 quadrillion, okay, in the earth right now. At least $5 trillion, quadrillion dollars. All right. Now, quadrillion is, I believe, now I'm going to do this because I don't want to get this wrong. Quadrillion in a trillion. I think, let's do this again. So 1 quadrillion is 1 year, is 1,000 trillion. I was going to say that, but I was just a bit shy. So right now, all the money that's in the world approximately is 5 quadrillion. So $5,000 trillion. Okay. And what we have here for the market cap is just, let's call it 2 trillion. So if we do a quick maths here, 2 divided by 5,000 times 100. All right. Or let's just be specific with the price. I'll put the full number. So 1.931 times 100, and let's just times that by, so right now, if we were to do the maths, on average, 3.86% of the world is involved in crypto, okay? Now, Bitcoin alone is dealing with a store of value which the store of value for the traditional one is gold. Okay. Now, if we go and put down the market caps of gold, all right, and we can look at the market capitalization of different things. So if I go to infinite cap, if you want to find one, infinite cap is good. I like to use it. So gold has the highest market cap because it is a store of value. So the market cap for gold right now is $11.3 trillion. Okay. Now, the whole entire crypto market is at least 5 times less than this. Okay. Now, with the potential crypto has to be a store of value, Bitcoin alone, for sure, over time, a lot more money would go into this area. Now, at the moment, Apple, Microsoft, or let's just say Apple and Microsoft at least, okay, and at one point Saudi Aramco, okay, have a larger market cap than the entire crypto market. With all of the technology and all the things that are going on, you know, when you talk about crypto, you're talking about over 11,000 cryptos. Okay. Many of them, at least 100 of them, are very, very good projects that have very long term goals and to bring future or bring a future to the world that we can all enjoy and our children can enjoy. Okay. But the fact that one company like Microsoft, which deals with, okay, many things, but is still within just the tech sector, is worth more than the whole of crypto, that is where you have to realize that there's still more room to grow. So these pullbacks you're seeing of large percentage swings, these large percentage gains also, they're for the here and now. You know, in the future, you know, there will still be moments where you see a 30% gain, but as the volatility comes down and the price becomes more stable over time, okay, the percentage gains of losses will become a lot more negligible. So I'm saying that to say, you know, please don't be afraid, guys. Just watch the price action and observe what happens. Yes, if crypto does go and do another big short again, don't be afraid. Just allow the price to do what it needs to. It's more about the long term, okay? Now, from that small calculation there, I hope that helps you to have some comfort, okay? And just to realize that we're nowhere near, you know, where we're supposed to be yet when it comes to crypto, okay? So keep your eyes peeled, guys. All right, stay aware of the price action, and I hope you guys enjoyed that. And everybody take care.